Hi guys, my name is Mrs. Hampton and I work every year on the FISD robotics competition for our 7th and 8th grade robotics students. I do this with Mrs. McGee. She and I organize this thing, and every year our Kate graphic design students have created our logo for us. So I thought we would make a video for you and just kind of explain what we're looking for in a logo so that when we get our choices, we have a lot of good options to choose from. First of all, we need the name of the competition in there, Robo Junkies, which we do think is 2 words. Okay, so Robo Junkies needs to be in the logo. The year, 2018, needs to be in there, and the words FISD Robotics Competition need to be in there. We need the logo to be 2 colors, and by that I mean like white on black, or black on one of those colors is the background color, the negative space, and one is the words and the pictures, okay? So if you do more colors than that, we're going to have a problem because we can't print those as a t-shirt, so we won't even consider those designs. Our shirts for our competition are always white on different colors. The staff members all get white on black, and the different schools each have a different color shirt, and their logo is white on that color. So when you submit it, if you'll submit it as a white logo on a black background so that we can see what it looks like, that would be awesome. Don't submit it as something like pink on blue or something like that. That makes it a little harder to visualize. So they kind of look like this. This is one of them from a previous year. But I'm going to show you a couple of them in a minute here. Just to kind of talk through what we're looking for. So a couple things that I really like in a logo. Number one, I want the logo to nicely fill up a t-shirt. Okay? So I'm going to show you, we're going to start with last year's. It nicely fills up the space on the front of a shirt. Other things I like about it. I like to have some sort of element that I can pull out separate from the logo. In this case, I had the whole thing with the throne and the robot, or I could pull out just the robot. I even pulled out the crown, I think, for something. So I have some options there. Love that. Also, let's talk about font for a minute. I'm kind of a font geek, so I'm really picky about fonts. I like it when I have a font that is very readable, but matches my theme and is a little bit more interesting than just plain boring serif or sans serif font, right? I don't really want Arial in there. If the whole thing had been done in this font, it would have been a problem, but it wasn't. They had the interest that was added by using the specific Game of Thrones font, and that added a lot to this design. Okay? I also really need a logo that's versatile. And you don't have to make different versions of it for me if you don't want to. I can pull parts apart and rearrange them, but I don't always need it on a shirt. Sometimes I need it on things like our score sheet. And our score sheet gets really crowded because there's a ton of stuff on it. And so I need something that's really long and skinny and maybe horizontal that I can run along the bottom of the score sheet that indicates our logo. And with this, I was able to create something. I was able to pull this out to put on the bottom of the score sheet. So, it just doesn't take up the real estate that the original logo did, and I need that ability. And you'll kind of see as I show you the other logos that we chose that all of them had the ability to be kind of strung out into a horizontal bar. Okay? So font and versatility. So let me show you some other things. Here's another version of the logo where I think we used this one maybe on name badges, because we create a lot of signage. We create a lot of different invitations for the event and so forth. So we need to be able to kind of have some things, some versions of the logo that we can tweak a little bit. Okay, the year before was 2016, and we did Voyage to Aquarius. So we had an interesting font. We had the year, we had the nod to robotics with the year, we had the nod to the theme with the fish. Obviously, this filled up the space really well. In this case, one of the students had created a horizontal version. It wasn't quite as skinny as I needed it to be to fit on the score sheet, but I was able to move some elements around, and I don't mind doing that at all. So as long as it's able to be kind of shifted, that's great. I think we put this at the end and then stuck it on the score sheet. So that was nice and versatile. Here's Mission Mars. This is the shirt I held up earlier. Oh, actually, I wanted to show you on this other one, I did take the little fishy out. So I did find a little fish that I liked, and I used him on the name badges. Okay, back to Mission Mars. Loved this little rover guy up here. I used that on a lot of stuff. There were some posters and things that I just put that instead of the entire logo because it was kind of a nod to the logo. And again, notice the font. It is related to our theme, but it's not boring. Very easy to read. Used that font throughout a lot of what we did. I was able to use that. It's readable enough that I could even use it on the schedule. So that was nice. Here's an example of something that we didn't choose for Mission Mars. And I'll tell you, I really liked this Mars over here with the little gear in the shape of the semicircle. But I didn't like the font. I thought it was boring, and I couldn't read the Mission Mars very well because of all the gears. So, you know, there were some things that were positive and then some things that we didn't like as well. Another one, here's another example. This one I also thought was a little bit boring, not as exciting as far as the fonts go. And this part right here, we weren't really sure how that was going to translate into a t-shirt, or if we made it smaller on print, weren't really sure what was going to happen to that as far as, you know, would you be able to tell that that was a planet? And then it kind of looked like the moon. So, you know, we kind of didn't know what to do with that. And so that one was kind of a finalist, but we didn't end up choosing it. And then the year before, 2014, was Robo games. And again, you know, not a super exciting font, but there were two different fonts that I could work with for titles and for text, and I was able to do that with our whole schedule. And I had this little guy that I was able to pull out and use in a whole bunch of different ways. So I really liked that. That little dude was on everything. And then, let's see. I know I have this shirt here somewhere. Is this it? Okay. Because I don't have a digital file with me. This is our very first one. Let me see if you can see that. Ocean Odyssey. And the dolphin was maybe my favorite thing ever. I love this dolphin. Check him out. Robotic dolphin. How awesome is that? And the font was really complicated, and I'm not really sure. I think she may have drawn that font, but it wasn't something that I could use on a ton of stuff. And the other font I wasn't really super crazy about with the curly cues on it, but I was able to find something that kind of went with the theme, a different font that I used in its place. And it did have the dolphin that I could pull out. And you can see, if you look at something like the one on the screen here, how easy that would be to just string out horizontally 2014 Robo Games FISD Robotics Competition. It's real easy to adjust that. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for some versatility. We're looking for relating to the theme. We're looking for readability. You know, and those are the things that are most important to us. So as you work on our logo, keep that in mind. And, you know, we are really, really excited to see what you guys come up with for this one, for recycling. You guys always do some amazing work. So it's always one of my favorite parts of the process to choose our logo. So Can't wait to see it. I hope you enjoy the time you spend working on it, and good luck.